okay, this is going to be instructions on how to complete this assignment. And if you have done this in class, then you can slide the video forward to where you may have had difficulties, such as editing the chart. I am not going to spend a lot of time going over adding the data to the chart. I'm just going to say the following. If you have done the times correctly, then each of these will have a timestamp. It'll say the hour, the minutes, and the seconds, and it'll say AM or PM. If you have added times, like a range of times from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, that's not the point. You took the measurement at what time? That would be the last time on your list. Delete the first time that you might have listed. So I'm going to paste the data that I collected. These were my numbers, okay? And if you don't have data, you were asked to use my numbers, same as this. So if you're that far behind, you're going to have to copy that down. And I also added in the rate box for most of my classes, but maybe not yours, the units. So the units were BPM, beats per minute. And that way there's no units written down in this cell. The units for AM and PM are added because it's still part of an hourly measurement, approximately hourly. That's what the squiggly line means. And then the activities doesn't really matter. Now I'm going to go to the graphing, and this is the editing of the graph. First, these numbers don't represent a range that I want. I wanted a range that's going to be below my lowest number, and I chose 50 for all my classes. But you could go higher. If none of your numbers go below, say, 70, then you can go down to 60 as your lowest number. My highest number never went over 100, so I'm going to do 110. I'm going in multiples of 10, not 5s, because each of my marks in between will be a 5 when I'm done. Currently, it's a weird spread, which 25 units between these major grid lines and this minor grid line means it's 12 and a half units. That's a weird number. You never want to use fractional grid lines with 12 and a half, halfway between 25, right? So you click on the graph, and then you click on, or double click if you have to, whatever chart element you're editing. So I'm going to slide this chart over now. So I'm looking at the chart by itself. And when I double click and on this particular element, which is the y-axis values, I scroll this scroll bar down and move up my data selection options. I can see my minimum and my maximum for this value. So I can select this one and change it to 50, and very quickly it changes on the graph by itself. And then my maximum, I want 110. What that has done is it spread out all of these values so that I can see more easily there's differences between the different points. Okay, you'll notice things flashing as I'm moving my mouse around. When I place my mouse over a horizontal line, it shows me the horizontal major grid lines. If I do it over a vertical line, it shows me the major vertical grid lines. But if I put my mouse over this one, it's a minor grid line, so it's not showing it. But speaking of grid lines, that's how we're going to get the rest of these numbers to show. So instead of 50 and missing 60 and missing 80, I'm going to add that by going to grid lines. So scroll your scroll bar on the chart editor all the way to the bottom and click on grid lines. Now scroll that scroll bar down so you can see your options. The number for the major step is how much we're doing here. In automatic mode, it doesn't have a number there. So we're going to add 10. That gives me 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and so on. And for minor grid lines, we only want one, which represents 5 spaces. 5 is a whole number. Now, if I want to have 10 spaces, then I would have 9 lines separating it, okay? Because, let me show you. If I type in 9, now each one of these marks represents 1. So that space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So to get 10 spaces, you need 9 grid lines. Could I do more? Yes. But do I want more? No. I want just one grid line in between. Hit enter, and that's going to be a space of 5. Okay, now we're going to go to the horizontal grid line. Click there, and you'll notice that it does not give you the option of a minimum and a maximum. For times, it's not going to do that. So the only way we'll be able to edit that is to go to grid lines and ticks and change it. But we can edit the rotation so that this number, which is a long number with the units on the end, that it will be vertical up and down. So the slant labels, click here, you can do 30 degrees, 60 degrees, or my preference, 90 degrees, so that I can get more of these times in there. I want every hour in there, okay? To do that, I have to go to the grid lines and ticks, scroll the scroll bar down so I bring up my options. And for my count, how many lines do I need? Well, I have 12 data points, but 12 does not show as an option. That means that I'm going to have to type in a number. So if I put 12 for my 12 hours of recorded time, enter, there we go. Fills in all those times. Sometimes you won't get all that spread, okay? If I said 11, it gave me every 2 hours. It didn't give me 11 actual choices, okay? So you want to make sure that you have at least that number that you need for your display, but also sometimes one more, because you need to count the y-axis line as one of your lines. So either 12 or 13 would work here, okay? I'm just going to leave it at 12. So we have all of our times, and we have all of our grid lines, but we don't have any half-hour grid lines, so we want to add that. So minor count, we're going to add one grid line in between. Now, if you see that these make pretty nice squares between these vertical and horizontal grid lines, then you've done a good job. If instead they're tall and narrow, then you have to change the spacing on adding some more grid lines on the y-axis. If they're flat and short, then you have to add more grid lines on the x-axis to make things fill out. So that's editing the chart. Now, the last thing is the titles for the x and y axis. These do not match, and they're backwards. So click on the title, and this isn't time. This is actually beats per minute. So click on that, and it opens up in the chart editor. And I'm going to change that to be heart rate. I'm not going to put beats per minute as my heading because it's a heart rate. Beats per minute is the units. So I'm going to put the units in parentheses all the time. BPM. There we go. And it's updated already. Now I click on the x-axis value. It says rate. That's supposed to be hour of the day. And that's all I need there. And having done all of that, my chart's done and ready for grading.